This is the best tip I have heard for getting a good latch. So let me tell you about it. I do want to say my experience with nursing is that I have directly breastfed 2 babies. I'm not a professional lactation consultant or anything of that nature. So take what you want to take from this and leave the rest. The number one concern with breastfeeding should be your latch. Don't worry about pumping schedules. Don't worry about planning out your freezer stash. You just want baby to latch. Pumping milk and then feeding it in a bottle is a great option, but it is a lot of work. So that's why I strongly recommend direct nursing, and that's why we're going to talk about the importance and how to get this good latch. The tip is somewhat of a visualization. You need to know what you're trying to achieve. Like, I didn't know what I was doing with that first baby. It's like, get them on the boob and they eat. But I didn't really know what the actual goal was in finding a good latch. I didn't really understand it. Okay, so this visualization. Pretend like you see a 2-year-old, or you are a 2-year-old. How does a 2-year-old suck their thumb? Where do they suck their thumb? You do not suck your thumb on the tip of your mouth. You don't just like suck like that. No. You suck on the roof of your mouth. Okay? And then on your thumb, this is sort of like the nipple, you don't actually suck on the tip. It's the pad of your thumb. So when you're sucking your thumb as a 2-year-old, the pad of your thumb is on the roof of your mouth. It's not on your lips. It's not up by your teeth or your front gums, for a baby without teeth, of course. It is on the roof of that mouth and it's like stuck there. So if you want to take a minute, give it a try and actually suck your thumb for a minute. I know, weird and bizarre, but it just helps you understand, I think. It helps you connect what you're trying to get your baby to do. And if you do that to yourself, you can get a really strong latch on it, which is important. That's how you get the milk out. You might see a parent jerk a kid's thumb out of their mouth and it's kind of challenging. Like, they've got it and they're good. So that's your goal. That's how you get a good latch. A lot of times with a lactation consultant, you're going to hear different phrases like sandwiching, which is where you kind of like squeeze your breast and like shove it in. Again, you're trying to get it in there kind of far. And I know some people don't approve of this. They don't feel like you should be shoving your breast in baby's mouth. I'm not an expert on this, and I'm not saying that I fully did it, but I'm saying that's why they're doing it. So they're trying to like shove it in to get it almost like up and in there on the roof of their mouth. Now, I will say a couple other breastfeeding tips that you need to be watching for and looking for. Initial pain is going to happen. People that say breastfeeding is painless don't remember. In the beginning, it is painful. Your nipples aren't used to it, and you don't really fully know what you're doing. Now, ideally, the initial latch is a bit painful, but as they start feeding, it should not be painful. It should go away after a minute or so. That's the ideal. Now, again, in the beginning, it is going to be painful kind of in general. Now, if your nipple gets cracked or broken or anything like that, it's going to be painful. And a way to prevent this, of course, is with nipple balm. Coating your nipples with balm after every feeding, after every shower. Sometimes, like, you might have a feeding and then 30 minutes later, go ahead and reapply. I just think of it as chapstick for your lips and that you're trying to keep your nipple in the best shape possible to help continue your breastfeeding journey in a positive way. Avoid cracks. It's key. It's so important. And then finally, if your baby nurses and then you look at your nipple and it looks like a tube of lipstick, that lipstick shape, that means something is off with their latch. That's not a good latch. So watch out for that as well. If you need any more help or guidance, reach out to your lactation consultants. A lot of times there's nursing programs at your local hospitals. Sometimes they have hours during the day where you can come in, feed your baby, weigh them, do things like that, and they'll have a specialist on hand. So look into these programs and these resources. But my main tip that I wanted to share with you was that visualization of a 2-year-old sucking their thumb. That is what you are after for a good, strong latch. Okay? Baby's not going to just barely get your nipple in their mouth and eat on their lips. It's the roof of the mouth and it's that pad of the thumb. Okay? That's what we're going for. I wish you all the best in your breastfeeding journey, and I hope you're able to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. I will provide a PDF with breastfeeding tips, and it's got a little bit of just this and that for breastfeeding and reminders. I recommend printing this out, and if you have a nursing station or nursing basket, put it in there. Have those reminders handy, and also having these paper reminders can help your spouse or partner in saying like, hey, I don't feel like you're doing this right, or hey, maybe you should try this, and try not to take it too personally if they are critical. They're just trying to be helpful. I'm going to link some articles as well. I've got one called The 4 Stages of Breastfeeding, and I've basically broken down breastfeeding into 4 different stages and what the pros and cons, or I don't want to say pros and cons, what the highs and lows of those phases are, or stages, and what you should sort of look for and expect during those stages. And I also have an article called The First 2 Weeks of Breastfeeding. That's going to talk about latch and some of those initial things as well that you need to be prepared for. Again, I wish you all the best in your breastfeeding journey. Check out those resources in the description. I hope they can help you. And I have lots of blog articles and YouTube videos about this subject. So please subscribe if direct nursing is something that you strongly desire in your journey with your baby. Good luck, and I hope to see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.